Hello Gemini, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much to those of you who have come across to see what it's all about, who haven't been here before, and thank you very much to those of you who are coming back to see what's going on now. I do appreciate it very much. Please, before I forget, could you like up this video for me, thumbs it up, so that it will get out to a broader audience. That really helps my channel to grow. And also to those of you who haven't subscribed yet, please could you do so. I'm doing this at the beginning of the reading rather than waiting right the way through to the end. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. And to those of you who have subscribed, thank you very much. There will be a subscription tab either on the video or underneath the video. And if you tap that, you will get that little bell and you can decide whether or not you want to get the videos as and when I put them out. So a reading today for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp energy of Gemini. Again, if you don't know where the placements are, there will be a free natal chart link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out. Gemini, you've got a lot happening in your sign at this time. You've got the Sun, of course, who has entered because it's your Gemini birthday season. So happy birthday to all you Geminis out there. Also, you have at this time a solar eclipse about to happen, with the moon passing between the Earth and the Sun, I believe it is. Yes, try and get around the right way. So that is happening in your sign on the 10th of this month, so only about 4 days to go before that major event happens. Also, Venus is still in your sign at this time, I believe, and Mercury, of course, is retrograde in Gemini as well. So a lot going on. You may want to check out your own chart to see where this Mercury retrograde is going to fall in which house and which placement for yourself. It's going to go back to about, I think it's about 16 degrees, but don't hold me to that because I can't quite remember. Anyway, starting the reading today, Gemini, this is a reading for yourself. It's a love reading for you and the person you have the strongest energetic heart connection energy with at this time. So you may not be physically still involved with this person, but that doesn't mean that energetically you don't still have a strong connection. So I'm using 2 decks of cards. This is the first deck of cards for yourself that I will be using here, Gemini, and you have the Knight of Wands at the bottom of the deck, which is very interesting because there's a lot of fire energy, a lot of kind of feels like pushing forward on something, really wanting something, very passionate about something at this time in your life. And really kind of wanting to push forward with something, as I was saying. So anyway, I will talk about that more. The deck of cards that I will be using for the cross watcher or for the person you have this energetic connection with, these cards here. So cross watcher, just be aware, and Gemini, also be aware that the cards could be crossed over literally. This part of the story may not be yours and this part of the story may, so however it resonates, cross them over, and yeah, however it feels right for you is going to be the right way for you to do it. So the first card that we have here is the 8 of Cups, taken from one of my decks of cards, just all the cup cards that I kind of remove and just have one cup energy. So today, and this also came out on the cut, like the cut of those cards as well, and then it turned up. So that was twice that this energy came out into the reading, so it definitely wanted to be here, which is talking to me about a situation of going down into the depths of your feelings here, Gemini. Possibly walking away from something, possibly feeling that you've done as much as you can in a situation and that you can't take it any further. but you need to actually have to leave it, have to walk away from it. And the words that I got earlier while I was doing the meditation on the cards was, it's all swings and roundabouts. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you. For me, this expression, all swings and roundabouts, kind of means a sense of what you win on one thing, you lose on another, or what you lose on one thing, you win on another. So it's kind of all about balancing. It balances itself out. So literally here she is walking down these steps, which is signifying walking down into the depths of the emotions. And at the bottom of the deck here you also have the Six of Cups, which also is a contemplation, melancholy kind of energy here, particularly when it's in reverse, which it is. A sense of having to kind of let something go, to look at something. Here she's kind of reflecting into this cup. She's got the 5 cups down there and the 6th cup she's holding on to. But she knows that she has to let it go. She knows that she can't make any difference with this 6 of Cups. And this is what's also coming through here for me, Gemini, is that there is something that you are needing to walk away from in order maybe to see it clearer, to understand it on a deeper level. Because at the moment it feels like you may be kind of really entangled in it, so you can't kind of emotionally disconnect from it. Anyway, we are starting the reading itself with the King of Cups in reverse as well. So again, this is talking about emotionally going into the depths. The King of Cups is that energy of very emotionally overwhelming. When he's in reverse, it's emotions that are so overwhelming that you don't know how to deal with them, how to cope with them. So this is talking to me about a situation that has brought you to this place of real kind of... For me, the King of Cups is also the wounded healer energy. So it's an energy of somebody who's kind of ignoring, shall we say, on some level, their own wound. Particularly in reverse, it's like it's much easier to look at other people's problems and solve other people's problems than it is to kind of recognize or look into your own. So this could also be why the 8 of Cups has come out as well, because it's calling for a sense of having to go down into the depths of these emotions and these feelings. In order to be able to, again, kind of understand them better and let them go. Because it feels like with the 8 of Wands over the top here, blocking this energy. There is a blockage here. It's like somebody wants to, or you, Gemini, want to communicate, you want to take action, you want to do something, but this is not, it's like it's not the right time, or because it's blocked here, which could also have something to do with this Mercury retrograde that we are in at this time. It's kind of saying to me that if you were to communicate right now, because the King of Cups is in reverse, you wouldn't be coming from a place of strength, or because this can be seen as a weakness as well. You wouldn't be coming from a place of really, yeah, like a place of strength, like a place of understanding the situation, like getting to the depths of the situation. You would only be half understanding something, or you would only be communicating something it kind of feels like it would make things worse. It would make things worse at this time if you were to try and communicate right now, or take action on something right now, which is what I feel that there's this energy of you wanting to move something forward, wanting to take action. But if you were to do so, it kind of feels as though it would backfire. In your head at this time, and what you are aware of, because I'm doing the, sorry, I meant to say earlier, I'm doing the Celtic Cross read, because I started the cycle of sun signs again, so I decided to do something slightly different. The sun energy, which is a really good, positive energy. So you may feel at this time, it kind of feels as though you feel as though you're in the right place, doing the right thing, connecting in the right way, to, like your life is on the right path. You know where you're going, you know what you want to do. It's an overall card of insight, clarity, seeing the bigger picture. But this is what's in your head. This is what you are aware of on some level. It's like it may not actually be what's happening outside or inside yourself, shall we say. So this is the mental process. You're in the process of kind of, feels like rising or burning through something. And I get a strong feeling of this because you also have the King of Wands here as well as the past energy, the energy that you're coming out of, Gemini, which could be yourself. This could be somebody else that you have had dealings with. This is the energy of Sagittarius, Aries and Leo, the fire signs, all very doing, all very active, all very what's the word I'm getting here? Very like forward looking, won't take no for an answer. And with the sun in your head and what you're aware of as well, it feels as though again, it's that sense of pushing with something, wanting to push something forward in your life, but maybe wanting to do it too quickly is how it's feeling for me. Like making sudden decisions, the Eight of Wands as well, well, decisions like movement forward, sudden, fast, even though this is blocking your emotional well-being. So it could also be that you are getting messages or somebody's sending you messages here that are not what you're wanting to hear, but you're still somehow kind of seeing the best. Yeah, seeing the best or making the best of the situation. Maybe this is to do with the swings and roundabouts that I was talking about that came through. It's all swings and roundabouts. But it feels as well that there's something about not wanting to see the negative side of something here. At the bottom, underneath all of this, where you're coming from, is a sense with the Two of Cups, the Death card, and the Nine of Pentacles all together here. Two of Cups in reverse is saying to me that there has been this connection with somebody, There is somebody special that has been in your life, and they may still be in your life, but they're not in your life in the same way as they were before. Something's changed. There's a transformation going on here with this Death card, and it is up for the right way as well. So something is transforming on a deeper level, and again it reminds me, it reminds me of this Eight of Cups, going down into the depths, transformation happening from within rather than without. And maybe that's also what this Sun card is about as well, of like looking outwardly rather than inwardly. And the Nine of Pentacles up the right way after the Death card is saying to me, that you're actually learning and growing from this situation. There has been growth here. There has been a period of time of solitude, perhaps being on your own here with the 9, realizing your own abilities. Again, we have a butterfly here as well, so that kind of talks about transformation or butterflies. But also that you have the capability to take care of yourself, to look after yourself. And this is kind of, it feels as though this has kind of set you on that path. Of looking after you. Rather than needing to be in a relationship, rather than wanting, or not so much wanting, but needing. But the energy you have moving in here, Gemini, is the Tower in reverse and the Page of Wands in reverse as well. And this is where I get this feeling of kind of rushing into something. There's a lot of fire energy in this whole reading, and for me fire is something that is very like quick action. But if you think about fire itself, what it does, it kind of burns through things, and it can get out of control very easily. Fire also relates to our passion, our nature, our drive towards something. So with the Tower and the Page of Wands together, it's kind of implying this period of time that's coming into your life here, Gemini, of kind of going back to the drawing board. It's like something that's going to, because when the Tower appears in our lives, it's this sense of this sense of realization that what we had before was not, it's like we've outgrown it, we've gone beyond it, we need to kind of break free from it, we need to, yeah, it's like a sense of freedom, but it's not always seen in in that light. When it happens, it's something that is sudden, it's out of the blue, we're shocked by it, and it can be in that moment of shock that everything kind of changes for us, because we have to make new decisions, we have to come from a different place from where we have before, because the old is no longer working in the same way, which is what this Page of Wands is saying to me here as well. I also get the feeling with this Page of Wands that it could have something to do with reacting over something in a way that's not kind of thought through. Like, again, that sudden reaction to something. But also with the Page, it's like a young energy. It's like going back to, it feels like going back to the drawing board, like going back to something, going back to a situation. What am I getting here? It's like a situation that has familiarity about it, maybe. A realization of, because you've also got the King of Wands here as well, so you've got the Page and the King of Wands, so this is like the more mature energy of this, but because the Page is in reverse and he's the energy that's moving in as the King is moving away, it's kind of saying to me that it is a return to something within you. It's not a return to a situation, I don't feel, as much as it is a return to something that sparked something within you that is going to create this tower. Like, it could have something to do with communication. It could have something to do with the way that you say something, the way that you come across, the way that you approach something, or the action that you take here is going to create this moment, this tower, which is going to kind of bring you back to this energy. And it's in reverse, and I feel as though it's in reverse because it's something that you don't particularly want to go back there. You don't want to start at that point again. Because the pages need to grow, they need to mature, they need to experience life in order to be able to understand and see things. And this could actually be this Mercury retrograde energy for you as well, Gemini. Taking you back to something within yourself. Because the energies that you have below, like where you are at this time, we have the Three of Swords, which is you dealing with emotional heartache, heartbreak, but it's also seeing through something. The Three of Swords, it's also a realization. I'm kind of seeing this sun in the same way above here as well. An understanding, which could also be this tower energy as well. This realization. Because after this we have the Two of Wands. which is for me talking about separating paths. Almost like a crossroads, almost like coming up to a point in your life where you need to make a decision as to which way you're going to go, which way you're going to turn. And this again could have something to do with this tower moment here as well. It doesn't feel like a bad tower moment. It doesn't feel like something that's going to like wipe everything away like some tower moments do. It is in reverse, and for me it's kind of saying that it may take you some time to realize what's happened. But you are kind of back at square one here, Gemini. But there is going to be this change. There is going to be this decision, it feels like, to walk away from this heartache, this heartbreak, to leave that behind. To stop allowing it to affect your life. Moving on. Moving forward with more, what's the word I'm looking for? With more, not just clarity, but with more purpose. Almost like from this tower moment, it feels like this is you here, and you, this page energy here, kind of coming to terms with something. And moving forward. But you do have the world energy in reverse straight after that as well. So as I was saying, it does feel like you're wanting to push forward, you're wanting to kind of, but then there's these blockages, like with the Eight of Wands in reverse, not in reverse, sorry, literally as a block energy, as a crossing energy. And then the World card here in reverse as well. So the end of something, the beginning of something new. It could be that it's not the right time to force a situation, to try and create something new at this time, with the World card here as well in reverse. And you have the Five of Wands with this as well, so it feels as though this is like inner conflict. It actually feels like you wanting to battle the world in a way, like you can't, like you're wanting to change things, you're wanting to, and it feels, Gemini, as though you are literally kind of having the battle with this, with the world around you, or the universe, or you're not in balance with it, you're not seeing eye to eye with the way that your life is at this time. You're kind of defensive, and you're ready to go your own way, do your own thing, even if it's not the right thing at the right time for you at this moment. Is how it's coming through. This Gemini, it feels like a strong-willed energy. of like, don't try and stop me because I'm just going to do it anyway. But there is this conflict, this inner conflict. It's almost like saying, like with the Gemini energy of kind of like you arguing with yourself. Like you know what's right, you know what's the right thing here. But you're not wanting to do it. You're pushing back against it. And that pushing back energy could have something again to do with this Tower. Like your resistance. You're resisting allowing yourself to, almost like the world wants to show, the universe wants to show you the right path to take, and you're stubbornly like sticking to your own point of view. And after this we have the Ace of Wands and the High Priestess. And again, I feel that this is, even though it's not your energy, Gemini, it feels very strongly like this is overall at this time the energy that you are in. Like you really, really want something to happen. You really, really want, and whether this is to do with a relationship or whether this is just something in your life in general, although this is a love reading, I get this sense of like, well, why not? Why can't it? I really, really want it. And I'm going to battle my way through it. Even if all the blocks are put up in front of me, I'm not going to listen. I'm going to see them as challenges. It's like everything is a challenge, is how it's kind of coming through. But you do have the High Priestess energy here as well. So your intuition, which is also this energy here with this King of Cups, this is intuitive energy, emotional energy, feeling energy, going with your inner knowing. It's like this High Priestess energy is there. But again, it feels as though it's this is what you're focusing on. Even though the High Priestess is a major arcana card, it feels like at some point you are going to have to. You're going to have to emotionally deal with this situation, which I don't feel as though you have been, or you've, like with this Eight of Cups, it may be that you are in the process of doing so. But it does feel as though with this High Priestess that it's a sense of confusion. the impossible, like it may just all seem impossible at this time. Neptune in Pisces is very strongly placed at the time, at this moment as well. So it all kind of seems a bit like dream world, like a fantasy in a way. Like there's like a illusionary element to this as well, like dream world, fairyland kind of thing, like it's a fairy tale, it's something that kind of also feels as though it's out of reach somehow. With the Ace of Wands in reverse here, that it's out of reach, but you are determined to create this. But what you have in your hopes and fears, Gemini, is the Nine of Swords. So there is a lot of fear around the whole situation. But there's also a lot of not wanting, again, that sense of not wanting to admit this to yourself, not wanting to, it's like you're the struggles and the things that you're going through at this time, Gemini, it's almost like you're creating it for yourself, you're bringing it into your reality. Because the Nine of Swords is a card of nightmares. It's like all the stresses, all the worries, everything that you can imagine to go wrong. But it is only in your hopes and your fears, so it's not actually manifested yet. But your focus of attention is very much in that place. And you have the Ten of Cups as your outcome here. So it's saying to me that you want this. There is something here that you are trying to create, trying to build, this is what you're wanting, but because it's in reverse, there is this sense of you believing on some level that it's not attainable. But you're still pushing forward. That's the thing about it. It's like still pushing towards it, even though on some level it doesn't feel as though it's going to make you happy in the long run. It's like this false sense of happiness is how I'm picking this up. That's what's coming through to me now, this false sense of happiness. But you're feeding it. It really feels as though you're feeding it with all of this fire energy that we have going on here. And it's literally like all this fire energy, it's like you're feeding it, but it's not being fed from the right frame of mind or the right reason, the right... It almost feels like it's coming from a place of, well, I want it. I want it, so therefore I'm going to have it. Therefore I'm going to make it happen. Even if it doesn't bring me real happiness, even to a sense of like, and what even is real happiness? What is real happiness? What does it mean? How do you achieve it? Is it attainable? And if it isn't attainable, maybe I should just go with whatever I feel is the best. Source of that happiness? So let's see what the person that you have this connection with, they have also got the King of Cups. But their King of Cups is up the right way. So you're both in this very emotional place at the moment, but this person is feeling more in tune with their emotions, more accepting of their emotions. They understand their emotional intelligence. They have an emotional intelligence. This person may well be a water sign. They could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces that you're dealing with here, Gemini. But they have a deeper understanding, I would say, at this time of their own emotional well-being through all of this. So it feels for you, Gemini, there is this kind of sense of not wanting to I hate to say or use the word wallowing, but it's kind of coming through in that sense, but it's kind of a sense of it feels like a sense of sadness, actually, a deep sense of sadness and a deep sense of like not wanting to look, not wanting to go there. Possibly even blaming yourself for a situation here as well. When the King of Cups is in reverse, he can be very self-critical. With your King of Cups, you also got the Two of Wands as well. So you are also, or the cross-watcher here is also thinking very strongly about moving forward with something. But this is their challenge at this time. And it could be to do with whether or not you're going to move forward together. Sorry, I just got a really weird sensation then. Like bringing something back together. There's two stags in the background of this card as well. I don't know if you can see them. They're kind of one either side of those wands. I also feel that this is something to do with this clashing energy here with this 5. So they are wanting to move forward. So we're saying with this more emotional approach to this, maybe a more emotionally leveled acceptance. They may be more accepting than you are at this time, Gemini. I'm feeling as though they're in the right place to move forward here. They also have the Seven of Pentacles in their headspace, what they are aware of. I feel as though they are in a place of, how can I put it, like a sense of like they will be provided for. Like they don't have to do anything here. They don't have to push on anything. They don't have to try and make anything happen. It feels like this is the kind of decision that this person is making. That they want to move this forward, or they want to move forward, but they're willing at this time to kind of let the universe provide whatever it needs, whatever they need, in however way that the universe wants to give to them. Like they're open to the universe. And the sun, of course, because it's over the top of the sun, and the sun can also be seen as very kind of masculine energy here. Again, it feels like very powerful, this fire, this kind of very strong, like wanting to control your world perhaps here, Gemini. Wanting to be the one in control, like at the very center of everything around you, which isn't such a bad thing. But it feels as though you're coming more from that kind of place. You're coming more from a place of I can do this, I can make this happen. Whereas this person is coming more from a place of like, well, I'm just going to let things be provided to me. I'm going to allow myself to open up to this like endless potential possibly here. Whatever the universe wants to give to me or provide to me is what I should be harvesting, accepting. So it does feel as though this person's in more of a accepting energy than you, Gemini. Although it really doesn't feel like Gemini energy as such. There is this strong, driven, fiery, really passionate, really determined feeling to this reading. And over the top of the King of Wands here, they have the Temperance energy in reverse. And the Temperance energy it feels as though they are kind of removing their energy from this. Here, Gemini, it feels like they're saying that they've tried, they've put their time and their energy and their effort into this. But it could be with the King of Wands energy moving away here as well, that at the time you were not open to this. Because the King of Wands can be very, like, easygoing in the sense of, like, how can I put it, like, doesn't make plans ahead of time. Kind of this easygoing, happy-go-lucky kind of energy that doesn't always work out. It feels like somebody who's very kind of, I don't want to use the word casual, but they may not have been on the surface, at least they may not have been obviously as dedicated to this situation. Temperance for me talks about two people or a situation of keeping things flowing, of kind of a relationship, and that a relationship needs to have communication. There needs to be openness on both sides, otherwise there isn't a relationship, it doesn't exist. And so I feel that on some level this person here, Gemini, is kind of removing their energy from this, and it's almost like you're putting more energy into it, you're wanting to kind of actually maintain it and put more into it, and this person is kind of withdrawing their energy. At least this was the past energy. But they may have felt that you weren't as committed. To them as they were to you. And we have the Eight of Cups again, and the Three of Swords again. So there is definitely this emotional, and they're both in reverse as well. So something, and it's over the top of the Two of Cups, the Death card, and the Nine of Pentacles, which is in the subconscious, so you may not be aware of the transformation, the death that's taking place here. Something is definitely dying here. Something, especially with this card, these two cards, the Eight of Cups and the Three of Swords. This person was coming from a place of heartbreak as well. And this may not have had anything to do with your situation. This may have been something that they carried from a past situation that they themselves haven't looked at yet, or hadn't looked at yet. Because this is the root cause, this is the deeper, like if you think of a tree, this is the roots, this is where it's all kind of stemming from. So this person may not have expressed some of this to you as well, Gemini. They may have kept this to themselves in reverse. They may not have even been aware of it themselves, at how deep something was buried here. With the Eight of Cups and the Three of Swords together. This is a painful situation. Something I feel as though they buried down deep within them. which is also possibly why the Two of Cups is in reverse as well, and the Death card is here as well. And it could be that you are kind of realizing that it wasn't just about you, that it was more, it was deeper than that. I feel as though this wasn't to do with your connection with this person. I feel as though this was something from a deeper past experience. And this could also be why the Temperance card is in reverse as well, and why this person has withdrawn. Because you both have this Three of Swords energy here as well. So it could also be why you mirror with this Two of Cups here. This could be what you were attracted to on a subconscious level without realizing it, that you both had like similar heartache, similar pains, similar things to deal with. Where you were coming from was a deep wound. You both had this deep wound, especially with the King of Cups in reverse and the King of Cups upright. But I feel as though this person, Gemini, has dealt with this on a deeper level than you have so far. And it may be that this was part of what you were there to do for this person. Was to help them to release this. Oops. Okay, we take that one. Yeah. So we have the Page of Swords over the top of the Tower energy, your Tower and Page of Wands energy, the energy that they are moving into. Page of Swords is a fast moving, inquisitive, questioning, wanting to know energy. It's an energy of wanting to have answers, wanting, it is actually very mercurial energy, very kind of like because it's a younger energy, it can be very demanding, but it's like lots and lots of questions. This person has lots and lots of questions in their head that they're wanting answered. And it's like from one thing to the other, to the next, to the next. And it can cause, I mean, it could have something to do with this Tower here as well, because it can cause, as I was saying, that, you know, something could be said that is not that is kind of just like a throwaway comment somehow, but it could have like a real big effect. Something that's quite small. It doesn't necessarily seem to have a lot of like power behind it, but words are powerful. And that's kind of what I was getting earlier, was this kind of sense of something being said, something that's not necessarily, I don't know whether it's on your side or their side here. With the Page of Swords, it could well be coming from them, but something that's going to trigger a bigger effect. It's going to have a knock-on effect. And they aren't going to understand it either, Gemini. They're not going to realise what they've done. They're not going to... Because for them, it's just curiosity. It just feels like a sense of, like, there's a curiousness here, a sense of, like, they're not being, it's not like it's being malicious or that it's being said to hurt. But it does feel like some kind of a truth, maybe. But it's coming through in a way that's very, in a way, innocent. But at the same time, that innocence is kind of naive. It's a kind of, yeah, naive innocence. It could be that this person is just going to be completely honest with you about how they feel. Which could bring something into the light that hasn't been dealt with so far. And we get the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Over the top of these, Three of Swords, Two of Wands, the World card in reverse, and the Five of Wands here. So the Two of Pentacles for me is a card of not being able to decide whether they want to move forward or whether they want to like, what are they going to take into their future? So they know on some level, they know that they can't stay where they are. They know on some level that they have to move into the future. They can't live forever in this past energy. But it feels like there's a kind of a lot of, like one of these pentacles kind of represents the bad feelings, shall we say, the kind of emotional, like the past energy that hasn't worked out, that isn't going to help grow, isn't going to help the situation improve. Whereas one of these is more about like letting everything just go and moving forward, taking the lessons that have been learned here and growing something out of it. And this person, it feels as though they're in this place of not knowing whether that's going to, you know, is that going to be a situation with you, Gemini? Or is this going to be a situation where they're going to do this on their own? And of course, you also have the World card here as well in reverse. So you are also not sure about moving forward, or you're stuck. Because the World is endings and beginnings, but again, it does feel with you as though you are kind of fighting possibly fighting this ending, possibly kind of not wanting to allow not wanting to allow that to be the end of something. And over the top of your Ace of Wands and your High Priestess, this person has the Devil energy in reverse. Which I kind of feel is all of this stuff here as well. Like this Three of Swords, this Eight of Cups from earlier. Like this is one of their pentacles, if you like. This is one of the things that's kind of keeping them in this past energy here. And again, I don't know if this is to do with your situation. I feel as though this was brought into your situation, but I don't feel, Gemini, as though it originated in your situation. That this was something that was underlying. But with the Devil energy in reverse, this person is also battling with themselves at this time as well. Or this is how you view them. You view them as being in this kind of turmoil with their inner demons. You see there's a person down there. I'll turn it up the right way so you can see it better. But there's a person in that kind of cave area there, cowering. Oh, there's all this kind of demonic kind of looking energy above it here. And it actually has, if you look closely, he's actually holding the heart in his hands there, this devil. So this could also be how this person views you as well. Because we have this heart here with this Three of Swords. And I feel as though it's like, you know, this person whoever this is, whoever this person that you have this energetic connection with here, Gemini, they're it feels like there's a disconnect between them and their heart. Like they've disconnected from their true. Even though with the King of Cups here up the right way, and this is in the place of your environment. Sorry, not that one, just this one here. Of your environment, how other people kind of view the situation, how they view you and how you view them. And there's also a tiny little lock down here as well. And there's a key in this kind of skull's mouth. It's very blurry. You can probably just see it, just here, this gold key that he's holding in his mouth with this lock down here. And it feels as though like this person has their heart under lock and key. Or you may feel that they have your heart under lock and key. But there's something about, or they may view you that way. You may even view each other that way as well, interestingly, because you do have this Two of Cups, which I do feel is about kind of connecting through a painful situation, like something that you both recognized within each other, even on a deeper level. You may not have realized it at the time, but it kind of come out during the relationship over a period of time. And because we can often attract that same thing into our life, so that we ourselves have to kind of look at it, see it and deal with it, but we may not want to look at it within ourselves, so we project it outwards onto the other person and just see them as the one with the issue or the problem, when in fact it's both. But this Devil card in reverse is kind of saying it's not been dealt with. And maybe that's why the world is blocked here for you as well, because it's not been dealt with. But there is this kind of, like I was saying, this desire or this challenge, sorry about that, to make something, like to push beyond that. But I feel as though you can't push beyond that, especially with this Nine of Swords in your hopes and your fears as well. Like it's just going to keep coming back. It's just going to keep coming up. And it is just going to lead to this sense of dissatisfaction and unfulfillment. So in their hopes and fears, they have the Five of Swords and the Page of Wands, which you also have out on the table. The Page of Wands energy, again, that new energy, or sorry, not new energy, young energy of a need to learn, to grow, to... And this again could be, because they're both in reverse and it is in their hopes and their fears, because this could be part of the young... okay, like I was saying, this could be something to do with the connection here. Like this could be what it is about the pair of you, something possibly from within your youth. That has been stunted or not allowed to reach its full potential. But you also have this Tower moment here as well, and they also have so it may be this releasing of something, that something needs to be released here in order for something to move forward or to grow. That's how it's coming through for me now with these two pages, that this is the kind of energy that you connect with. Whether you're aware of that or not, Gemini, it's like this part of your soul that you both have a similar kind of trauma. And it feels like something that has not reached its full potential within both of you. It hasn't been allowed to reach its full potential because of something that happened in the past. Again, with your Three of Swords here as well. Something that happened in the past that was completely like different. It doesn't have to be the same thing for both of you, but it kind of stunted your creative drive or growth, or yeah, it just feels like potential, like possibly the potential for love, to be able to show it or feel it. Not, yeah, feel it, but feel it, how am I getting this? It's kind of like that drive, that fire, that passion. Like holding back. Like, yeah, holding something back. And it feels like it's being done through fear. Like holding it back through fear. On both sides. And not wanting to go there, not wanting to look at it, but realising now on some level that it has to be looked at. That you have to acknowledge it. You have to, because otherwise it's just going to keep it's going to kind of block the emotions as well. Not just the creativity. It's not just about creativity. It's also about blocking the emotional fire and passion, and also possibly why you've got this Ace of Wands in reverse here as well, and they've got the Devil energy over the top of it. It could also be something that is feared here. I will just say as well that the Ace of Wands fire is also a very strong sexual energy. So when it's in reverse, it could also be repressed. So what else did they get? The Five of Swords with their Page of Wands. Yeah. Yeah, the Five of Swords, it's like it just causes conflict. It causes arguments, disturbance, distortion. And it's also coming through as a sense of kind of not just self-sabotage, but self-dislike. Like an overwhelming sense of, like on some deeper level, an kind of overwhelming sense of not liking who they are, or they haven't done in the past, because this is hopes and fears. So this person is hoping that they're going to move beyond this, because they do want to. And I feel that you want to as well, Gemini, but I feel as though you're doing it in a more forceful manner, whereas they're doing it in a more kind of okay, with this Seven of Pentacles as well, what I'm also getting from here as well, is that you kind of both... You did kind of both give each other what you needed. What am I getting here? Yeah, for some of you that you kind of you fed this person's need. Gemini, that you kind of, with the sun energy, it was like you took care of their needs. Again, maybe vice versa as well. Like a mutual, beneficial relationship. Is what's come through for that now. That's what I'm being told. It was like a kind of symbiotic almost in a way. But on some level it may also not have been very healthy. Like you could have fed into each other's, which is what's coming through, like with the Five of Swords here as well. Like you could have fed into each other's insecurities. And maybe still do, maybe still are on some level, because of the lack of communication as well, that the insecurities are still there. And this feeling for this person of being kind of trapped in this, because they also have the Eight of Swords as their final card here as well, which I'm seeing in a similar vein as this Devil energy. Over the top of your Ten of Cups, it's almost like how can I put it, like feeding into each other's, into or off of each other's insecurities and unhappiness. And yet at the same time finding a sense of security within it, even though it isn't. It feels like a very kind of fragile sense of happiness, when actually it isn't a happy situation. It isn't a situation where you're because it's just keeping this if you see here, this swan is literally trapped in this nest surrounded by all these swords. Even though it can escape, there is also thorns, and but it's like the more it struggles, the more it gets trapped. until it just kind of stops struggling. It just kind of gives up, which is also this devil energy that I'm seeing here. I'm literally seeing the same, like with this person down here and this swan energy here. And maybe that's part of what I was feeling earlier about you, kind of the determination to maybe almost like save the situation or save this person. Even though they know that they have to, on some level, they've got to choose their own path. But it's not up to you, Gemini, to save them. That this is something that they have to recognize for themselves as well, because you both have this Eight of Cups energy. It is the overall energy for the whole reading, is this Eight of Cups energy of kind of going down into the depths of your own emotions to really, like if you see here, she's looking into that bowl and she's kind of reflecting, which again is very similar to this Six of Cups as well that was on the bottom. So it almost feels like somebody wants to save somebody. Or maybe that is your energy here, Gemini, that you're wanting to save somebody. You feel as though you need to save them from themselves, but at the end of the day they can only do it for themselves. And it's just leading to this kind of false sense of happiness, as I was saying, this Ten of Cups upside down. It's not true happiness. So I'm going to see what the Black Moon astrology cards would like to say to you, Gemini, because I'd like to see what energy in particular is working in your life at this time, the strongest energy around you that you can also work with for it to benefit you. So a card please for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Venus, rising and cusp energy of Gemini. Before I forget, Gemini, if you don't know the cusp energy, it is the 0 degree point in your chart. If you were born around the 0 degree point of your sign of Gemini, then you're going to be coming out of the Taurus energy. So you may want to check out the Taurus reading that I put up previously. Also the 29 degree point of your sign moving into the Cancer energy, and you may want to check out the Cancer reading that I put up earlier. You may want to wait for the Cancer reading that I will be putting out. So we have Pisces energy, which is saying I believe, and I did actually mention Neptune earlier as well, because the Neptune energy is quite strong at this time. 12th house energy, So let's see what the Pisces main energy is. Pisces can also be a sense of victimhood. You can feel as though you're taking on too much. It can actually be, as I was saying, that kind of saviour energy as well. So what's it say? In faith and trust you must surrender to what is. Pisces, the double fish, is ruled by Neptune, god of the waters, oceans and seas. It's the mutable sign, its home being the 12th house of self-undoing. You are also a mutable sign, Gemini, as well. It is mysterious and unfathomable, but can indicate a life that needs clarifying as well as definition. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and symbolises the old soul, one who has passed through many lives, has picked up much here and there, and experienced almost everything along the way, but sometimes doesn't process things well and tends to repeat mistakes. Pisceans have trouble maintaining boundaries, sometimes even feeling half erased. If you have ever observed a Pisces, you may notice they don't appear as intelligent as they really are. You could even call them gullible or vague until they start cranking out works of genius, and they can be so psychically tuned in it'll knock your socks off. Pisces is a beautiful sign with much compassion, denoting true visions that link up with the collective. Those ruled by this sign know much, know it all deep down, but have trouble sorting matters out. That could also be this King of Cups energy as well, the water element. Doesn't necessarily have to be Pisces, but that water element is very much to do with knowing things very deep down, and the High Priestess energy is very Piscean, which is also why I think I was talking about the Neptune energy. That kind of sense of confusion, of things not necessarily always appearing as they are. They are able to sense deeply, except for certain things extremely bad for them, which turn into mishaps and disasters. But through it all, Pisces still survives. Dreamers, artists, composers, poets, mystics, victims and prisoners all fall under the rulership of this water sign. There is little doubt that higher consciousness falls under the domain of Pisces. In a superficial way, it looks as if the world is their oyster, with their talent, beauty, sensitivity and a connectedness with the unknown. Pisces sees the best and is an idealist, but the flip side of this is cynicism, which can come in waves. So dreams will lead you now, but clear thinking is a must. You may be extra sensitive to beauty currently. Poetry courses through you. You feel connected to the source. You like the idea of surrendering to what is. Compassion flows. Take advantage of inspiration and channel it into a creative project. If you have a notion or a dream, swim to it. Capture that wave. A great idea from the past may re-emerge and you may want to return and finish it. That's kind of what I was getting with this. As I was saying, like this returning to the board, back to the board somehow was what was coming through there. Don't know what that's about exactly. It could be past energy returning. But you will want to tackle this idea soon when you are inspired, or the entire matter could disappear into the rushes of the deep. About your question, you may be confused by the reactions of others or simply unable to get to the correct answer. Pisces can be like a pristine sea or the muck of a swamp, so getting lost is a danger. Make sure you're not being pulled under by other people's complications. It's even possible you have someone in your life who saps you. Usually this is not intentional, but because of some delusional way of thinking, or way of unthinking, or viewing the world that clouds the issues. This could be this energy here as well. As I was saying, this kind of questioning non-stop, wanting to know, wanting answers. Could be something to do with that. Sorry, I'm just going to take a slurp of my tea. Throat suddenly got really dry. Don't fall into this same confusion. Make sure you are protected and have the proper boundaries, which could also be this High Priestess energy as well, because Pisces has no boundaries. That's another thing about the Neptunian Piscean energy. You may have physical symptoms but find no reason for them. Be careful when this card comes up, especially in regards to medicines or drugs, because allergies and strange reactions to medications may develop. So in brief, the Pisces card talks of dreams, visions, surrender, paranoia, confusion, a sense of being erased or having fragile boundaries, sensitivity, compassion, serving others, linking up with the collective, wanting to merge, knowing all but having trouble sorting it out, trouble getting on track, floating and feeling adrift. The sleaze factor, self-undoing, getting caught up in the wrong crowd, being caught in a snare, seeing enemies as friends or friends as enemies. Being gullible, lacking critical thought, joining the crowd when it's not a good idea, seeing the best, then turning cynical. Okay, so there could be as well with Pisces, there can be, because it's also seen as being kind of a Christ consciousness energy, there can also be this element of kind of a saviour, of wanting to save somebody or the world, when really what you're needing and who you're needing to save here, Pisces, is yourself. Because if you, sorry, Gemini, not Pisces, Gemini, because if you don't save yourself first, then you can't benefit anybody else. So let's see what the Love Oracle wants to say to you, Gemini, about this relationship. What is the advice from the Love Oracle cards here? Not the easiest cards to shuffle. Really beautiful cards, but they're not easy to shuffle. Okay, I'm going to take this one. And it says, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united. For love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. So it could be a situation where you are separated. I do feel as though you are separated from this person at this time, and that you're both going through similar emotional journeys as well, separately, but also it feels, Gemini, on some level that you kind of tend to feed into each other's insecurities and past traumas as well. So that may be something that you could look into with the Eight of Cups energy on a deeper level as well. So I'm going to leave the reading there and say thank you very much to those of you who have listened and watched my reading to the end. I really do appreciate it. Again, please thumbs it up if you have found anything of any interest, if it has benefited you, or if you've learned anything from it while watching it. Give me a thumbs up, because like I said, it does help to get it out into the bigger world of YouTube. Sorry about that. I am going to, because my voice is getting really, really croaky now, I am going to leave it there and just say, please, Gemini, take really good care of yourselves at this time, and take care of anybody else around you who you can. But focus your attention on you at this time, I feel is quite important. And enjoy the solar eclipse coming up in your sign, and hopefully I will see you again soon.